What's happening, YouTube? My name is Mike, and I have a cold this week. But anyways, if you saw last week's video, then you know how difficult life can be when you have a bad credit score. I want an apartment, house, car, credit card. Nope. And if you haven't seen part 1 of this video series, then don't worry, I'll throw a link right above. So make sure to go check that video out first if you haven't seen it. But basically, in the part 1 of this video series, I showed you how you can look up your free credit score and how you can download your free credit report. And if I remember correctly, we ended the video last week by checking our credit report for any potential errors which may be negatively impacting our credit score. And so the next step would be to learn how to remove any potential errors we may find off of our credit report. And so that's where we'll start off today. I'll show you how to dispute any discrepancies you may find on your credit report, and then we can use this fancy chart to go through each of the different components that make up our credit score, starting with this guy. And if we're not able to cover everything today, then I'll have to make a part 3 or a part 4 to this video series.
Ready to learn some different ways you can improve your credit score?
Let's get it!
Alright, so I downloaded my credit report from Experian, which is one of the 3 major credit bureaus in the US. And the whole point of downloading your credit report is to check for fraudulent activity or any credit information that looks inaccurate. And if you watch part 1 of this video series, the example I used was you may find an unpaid medical bill that's listed under collections, but in reality, this bill was already paid for by your insurance. So you're gonna have to start the dispute process to get it removed off of your credit report. And the way to do that is to just go to the bottom of your credit report, and each credit bureau should have directions on how to file a dispute. This is what it looks like for the Experian credit report, and this is what it looks like for the TransUnion credit report. One of the cool features on Experian's credit report is they actually have a dispute button listed on each section of your credit report. And to show you an example, let's say there's a credit card that's currently opened in my name that I never opened. Well, this could potentially be fraud, especially if there's a high credit card balance. And so to resolve this, Experian makes it pretty simple and puts dispute buttons next to each section of your credit report. Now, I'm sure the whole process is still gonna be a giant headache with multiple phone calls and paperwork involved, but at least Experian makes the whole dispute process relatively easy to navigate when you download your credit report from them. And so now that we've looked up our credit score, downloaded our credit report, and know how to dispute any discrepancies we may find on our credit report, the next step is to talk about what everyone wants to hear. What are some other ways we can increase our credit score? Well, first off, let's look at the different factors that affect our credit score. Alright, so there's 5 primary factors that determine your credit score. These factors are your payment history, amounts owed, credit mix, credit history, and new credit. And based on the chart, we can tell that some of these factors are weighted a little higher than others. For example, your payment history is going to be the factor that influences your credit score the most, while your credit mix and new credit will be the factors that influence your credit score the least. And so let's go through each of these one by one, and I can give you some examples of how you can optimize each of these categories to help improve your credit score in the future. And we're gonna start off with the most influential factor, which is your payment history. That's right, the number one thing that lenders look at before agreeing to let you borrow their money is your payment history. If you have a history of not paying your debts back on time or not paying your debts back in full, then future lenders will be hesitant to let you borrow their money as you are seen as a more risky borrower and are less likely to pay them back. And so some common red flags that will negatively impact your payment history are listed here on the screen. These red flags are considered derogatory marks and will stay on your credit report for between 7 and 10 years. And out of all the ones that are listed here, I think the 2 most common derogatory marks that most people tend to have are either missed payments or collections. A missed payment or a late payment is exactly what it sounds like. You're supposed to make a credit card payment on a certain day, and if you fail to do so, then that would be considered a missed payment. One thing to keep in mind is credit card companies usually wait at least 30 days before they report missed payments to the credit bureaus, meaning that as long as you pay off your credit card balance within 30 days, then it will not affect your credit score. Just know that you'll most likely be charged a late fee from the credit card company. And on the flip side, if you still have failed to repay your debt after 30 days, then it will affect your credit score. The longer your debt goes unpaid, the more severe your credit score will be negatively impacted. For example, using this scale, we can see that a 30-day late payment is bad. However, it's not as bad as a 90-day late payment, which would significantly decrease your credit score. And we can actually take this scale a step further and include accounts that go to collections. So usually if it's been between 120 and 180 days, and you still have not repaid your debt, then what often happens is the lender will reach out to a third-party collections agency to assist in collecting payment from you. And from my understanding, the way it works is, let's say that you owe your credit card company $1,000. The credit card company understands that they're not going to get $1,000 from you, and so they hire a debt collector to try to get as much of the original $1,000 payment from you as possible. The debt collector usually works on a commission basis, meaning that if they're only able to obtain $500 of the original $1,000 payment from you, then that means the debt collector will probably keep between $125 and $250. And then whatever's remaining from that $500 will go to the credit card company. After all, the credit card company would rather receive some of the original money they lent to you rather than nothing at all. And so now that you have a better idea of how debt collection works, we're gonna have to wait until next week where I'll share with you some steps that you can take to potentially increase your credit score.
Especially if you find yourself having missed payments or collections listed on your credit report.
All right, so your payment history is the most weighted factor that influences your credit score. And so there's a lot of good information that I want to share with you, but I figured it might be a little bit easier to digest all this information through multiple videos rather than just having one 40-minute long video. So be sure to watch part 3 of this video series where I'll wrap up the payment history category, and then the finale of this video series will be part 4 where I'll talk about how you can increase your credit score using the remaining categories that are listed on this chart.
And as always, stay frugal, fam.
Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button that's right above me. And then check out my other videos, which I'll have listed on this side of your screen. We'll see you next time, Frugal Fam.